Sir, can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, we'll take a file 2014-53154. Angela Chrysler and Joseph Merkel, both are here via Zoom. Ms. Evans here from front of the court. Matter was set for a show cause filed by Mr. Merkel on his own regarding payment of the arrears. Ms. Evans, what's the status on the matter at this time?
Ms. Chrysler is ordered to pay $261 per month. Currently, she owes $63.31, and that is fees owing.
So the arrears were essentially paid in full,
Correct.
and the 6031 would be less than the monthly amount, so that would not be an arrearage, correct?
Correct.
All right, so at this time, is the front of the court convinced that she was in compliance with the order that ultimately?
As far as the timeline, probably not, but yes, she has paid the arrears.
All right, when was that arrearage to be paid by?
December, let's see. Show cause hearing was in October. She was to pay the arrears in full by December 31st, 2022. She had been paying the current plus some on arrears, but she just couldn't quite make it to the arrears amount.
All right, and when was it paid by?
Last payment we received was the 3rd of April. The last voluntary payment.
Was that a lump sum that paid off the arrears, or was it paid before that?
I can't speak to some of the payments without her permission. But we received money on the 10th.
Of April?
Correct.
Okay. All right. And sir, you filed for the show cause. We had a hearing before, and this was set for today, obviously, so I couldn't really address it prior to today. It looks like the arrears have been paid. What do you want to say today?
It seemed like the arrears were just paid a few days ago to pay up what she owed.
Okay.
When we went to court a couple weeks ago, there was still a lot owed on it.
Right. Remember, she said she had some money coming in. She was going to pay it before the show cause date. So, you know, I didn't really waive the fact that it was supposed to have been paid by the end of December, but I said I really can't address it until your show cause on the 17th. So have it paid by then, and it appears that she did. So.
Okay.
Is there anything else you wanted to address?
Yeah, I was hoping that we could get to recalculating the child support.
Recalculating? I don't think we have a motion or review pending, do we?
No, I'd put that with the show cause, hoping that we could address it at the same time.
Ms. Evan, when was support last calculated?
$2019. Their next review notice goes out in 2025. Looks like maybe they just didn't respond.
So nobody responded last year when the
Correct.
notice went out? So, sir, other than 7 extra nights, there's been no change since 2019?
I'm sure we both have had wage changes since then. I know that what hers was calculated back in 2019, she's made a lot more other jobs since then. And I'm sure she makes more now than what she was calculated at back then.
I'm still at the same job.
Right, but you've had other jobs since it was calculated where you made more money.
But I've been at the school. I've never quit the school. That's stayed the same.
Okay, but it was calculated in 2019, and in 2020, you made $18 an hour.
At a third shift job that you complained about. So I had to just quit that job. That was a second job. And you complained about it
Okay.
because I was working third shift. So
Yeah.
I have stayed at the school. And
Okay, well, I
Um,
didn't complain about it.
I also had a question about this because it says in the show cause that he had sent out that I was unable to pay child support for the last 6 months due to medical leave from work, and that I wasn't gone from work for 6 months. It wasn't 6 months. I was off work for 12 weeks for my medical leave, not 6 months. And when I was working at Papa, money was coming out of my paycheck every 2 weeks to pay my child support. So that's a lie in the show cause.
To acquire the amount of money past due, it was more time than what you're saying that you didn't pay.
All right,
No,
well,
the only time I wasn't-
The gist of the gist of the show cause is that you didn't pay the lump sum by December 31st, like you were ordered, okay? And that is true, and for that, I would find you in contempt. You've paid it now, so there won't be any further sanction, but there would be a contempt finding because it wasn't paid on time. And Mr. Merkel, paid for the show cause and has clearly asked for a support recalculation in that show cause. He filed his own motion for the show cause. And in asking that, we'll go ahead and recalculate support at this time. It's been 4 years. And I guess I'll start with you, sir. It is your motion. Where do you work?
I work at HWI.
HWI. How much do you make there?
I make $31.64.
Per hour?
Yes,
How many hours a week?
40.
Do you have any overtime?
Rarely.
Do you have any other income from any other source?
No,
All right. And do you have any other minor children besides child in this case?
yes, one.
One? Okay. So there's 2 kids on this case. They're both still minors. So 2 kids on this case plus 1 more?
Yes.
Okay. And what's your calculation of how many overnights you have the children in a year?
Wrote down 270.
270 for
Yep.
you? And then
95 for her.
that would leave 95 for her. Okay. And who claims these kids for tax purposes?
I do.
Are you remarried?
Yes,
Or married? Okay. So do you claim as head of household then when you file your taxes?
yes,
So yourself and your spouse are both claimed, and then the 2 kids on this case and your additional child, so 5 exemptions? Is that right?
and one of my wife's kids.
Okay, married filing jointly then.
Yeah.
6 exemptions.
All right. Do you have any child care expenses for these 2 kids?
No,
And how are these kids insured? Do they have private insurance or Medicaid or what?
yeah, they're insured through me, my work.
All right, how much does that cost?
That is $60.22 a week.
And that covers all
Dental.
6, all 6 of the people that we talked about in the dependency?
Yes,
Okay. So, whoops.
So 2 children on this case, 2 additional children, and you and your spouse.
correct.
All right. All right, and ma'am, where do you work?
NC RISA. It's Newaygo County Educational Services.
Yeah, and how much do you make there?
I make $16.87 an hour.
How many hours a week?
30.
30? Do you choose to work 30 or is that all that's available?
That's all that's available. It's school hours.
When do you go in?
Okay, I'll say it.
I go 8 in the morning till 2:30 in the afternoon.
Every day?
Yes.
So that'd be 32 and a half hours? Or do they take out a half hour for lunch?
They take out a half hour for lunch every day.
I'm sorry, I missed your wage. Hourly wage was what?
1687.
Thank you.
Do you have any other income from any other source?
Right now I am working at H&R Block, but that tomorrow's my last day there. I work during the winter, like January through April 18th.
Okay. How much do you-
I usually try to have a summer job. It's not always the same. I just try to pick up something in the summer hours just to make money because I don't work at the school in the summertime.
Right. How much do you make at H&R Block for those 3 or 4 months?
13.
13 an hour?
Yes.
Is that 40 hours or how many hours a week for those weeks?
The most they vary, but the most hours I get there for a week is 12 to 16 hours.
Okay. And then during this, what do you do during the summer, you said?
Well, last summer I worked because well, no, last summer I was off, sorry, because of my surgery, but the summer before that I was working a third shift job at a foundry. But the third shift just didn't work when I had the children because I can't leave them home at night.
All right, so. Okay. So you're not sure if you'll work this summer or not, or what?
I'm looking for a job right now, but I don't have one yet. I'm actually signed up to work for respite for one of our students that we have at this school. I'm just waiting to hear back from them.
In the summers you have worked, would you typically work 40 hours a week or more than that or less than that?
Less than that. I am going to work at the school this summer, NC Risa. It's 3 days a week. It'll be Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, half days. It'll be 7:45 to 11:30.
So 4 hours,
Yeah.
same wage?
Yes.
That'll be all summer?
No, we don't work in August. It'll be through June and July. And then we're done for the month of August until school starts.
All right. All right, so let me do some math here. So 1687 per hour times 30 hours is 506 a week, and that's times 40 weeks during the school year. Just 20,244. And then 13 an hour times, we'll say 14 hours is 182 times
About 17 weeks, isn't it?
17 weeks, okay, is 3,094. And then 16, oops. 87, gosh, fingers are failing. 1687 times 4 hours times 8 weeks is 539.
See, to me, it doesn't seem fair that she's calculated at anything less than 40 hours a week. A full-time job. I've got full custody of the kids. I work a full-time job. She doesn't have kids at home. And there's no reason that she can't work 40 hours a week. There's no reason that she can't work at a factory third shift for $18 an hour, but she chooses
hard.
not to.
Listen, it's hard to find a job not working weekends,
it's
and I
not.
only get my kids 10 days out of a month. I went from having them
Yeah.
every other week to 10 days a month. I don't want to work when I have them. It's hard to work when they're here because I don't see them often.
You
I'm a
haven't had
mother
your
that
kids for,
cares to see her kids.
yeah.
And you complained about me quitting jobs and starting jobs. Well, I've had the same job ever since 2018
You
that
choose to
works
work
with
a
my
low
kids'
income
schedule.
part-time.
I'm not
It's
going to
not
argue
fair
about
that you
this. This is about my kids, not you. And I
you get
take
a
care of
job
them.
full-
So
The judge said that you'd be calculated at 40 hours a week, no matter what you did. And I don't care what you do. You can work
they
20
did
hours a week. I
calculate.
don't care.
It was calculated on
but
a
you could
40-hour
get
week.
at 40 hours at about $18 an hour. You could
Mhm.
easily make that.
All right, so sir, she was, the last time was, she was running minimum wage 40 hours. She's making quite a bit more than that now, but has indicated under oath that the 40 hours aren't available at that job, but she's making significantly more. I suppose she could quit that job, go make minimum wage, make, $6.80 less per hour. And work full time. I think that'd be going backwards as far as her income is concerned, though.
I think so too. Thank you.
So
I just
during the
don't think
first
it's-
4 months, so during the first 4 months of the year, she's working more than 40 hours a week. Now, I understand that's only those 4 months, but she has a job that doesn't include necessarily summer hours. It sounds like she's picking up some hours in the summer, making $16.87 an hour, not taking a minimum wage job during the summer. If you calculate all those incomes together, it's approaching 24,000 a year.
Yeah, 24,000. I work 40 hours a week every week. My wife works 40 hours a week every week, and we've got 5 kids at home.
Yeah.
There's no reason I can't work 40 hours a week.
Not everybody
Or-
works
or-
40 hours a week.
Okay.
Right. Some people do work part-time, but when you have kids that you should be supporting, you should work
I
40
am
hours a week.
supporting them. I am supporting them.
All right, I'll throw in a little extra for unutilized or unrealized income potential. Ms. Evan, run Ms. Chrysler at 25,000 per year. That'd be an extra about 14 or 1,500 for to make up the difference between 30 and 40 hours. But I'm not going to add a whole lot more than that because I stand by my belief that maybe she could go find a 40-hour a week job, but then we'd be back at the minimum wage, and that would be less overall income. Ma'am, do you agree with the breakdown of overnights, 270 and 95?
I do.
All right, and do you have any other minor children besides the kids on this case?
I do not.
Okay. And let's see, Mr. Merkel didn't have any childcare costs. Do you have any childcare costs for these kids?
I do not.
All right, and he indicated that the health insurance cost him $60.22 per week. Any reason to dispute that?
No.
All right. Ms. Evan, anything else you need?
No additional children. Angela, you guys don't alternate claiming the children?
No, we do not.
Okay, just Joseph claims the 2.
Yes.
All right. So the calculation would have Angela paying 405 child support, 23 ordinary medical for a total of $428 a month.
All right, sir, do you have any issue with that amount?
No.
Ma'am, do you have any issue with that amount?
I do not.
All right, that amount to be adopted then. The motion was,
March 15th.
all right, yep, it was, looks like it was, oh wait, you signed on that. didn't
Oh.
you?
He
So what
noted-
date-
He
What?
got notarized on the 14th, right?
yeah, sir, what date did you serve that, motion on Ms. Chrisley?
I got it in the mail on April 7th.
So this notice,
Yeah.
so the copy, the judge signed it and said a copy of this must be served personally at least 9 days before the hearing. You didn't serve it personally?
No, I didn't serve it personally.
You sent it in the mail?
I tried and she wasn't home. That's when I put it in the mail.
Okay,
I went to her house.
all right. Because it wasn't served personally, I'll vacate my previous recommendation for a contempt sanction to be found. There'd be no contempt sanction because it wasn't properly served. A support motion only needs to be served by mail. So the support calculation would still be adopted. I'll make it effective April 1st, 2023. All right, you get a copy of that order in the mail in a few days. Anything else?
I'm good.
No.
All right, we're all set.
Thank you.
Oh,